Hi, and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today we're going to be looking at a brand new playbook that I have put out. Now, if you're watching this later, then it's not going to be brand new. It's kind of hard to talk in the present when you know that people are going to be watching in the future, but that's okay. I have a playbook. It is the AI Artist Playbook, Animals. And I've had a really super fun time creating this playbook and curating phrasing and direction, colors, all the things you need to describe your animals and to create your own unique prompts. Now, for anybody that's watched my channel before, you know that I am a big advocate of trademark and copyright and intellectual rights. And so nothing that I teach is going against that. You know, I encourage you to bring your own human elements into your AI tools so that you produce the best product that you can. And this is becoming increasingly important because of a lot of pushback against AI artists, people using AI, regardless of how the extent that you're using it. There are conversations that are currently going on, and I hate to be a downer person, about it, but the reality is if we're running a business and if we are creatives, and I truly believe that you can use AI and still be a creative. There are plenty of traditional artists that are using it to improve on their production, to use some of their traditional art and then take the AI and get variations. It all is stemming from their own creativity. Same thing with writers using it for proofreading and a lot of the things like that, brainstorming, doing a lot of the research that many authors used to depend on just Googling. It's saving and streamlining a lot of time hogs, that were really not attributing anything to the creative process other than it was grunt work, to make sure that you describe something the best, factually. Now, being responsible means that if we're using it that way, we always have to check facts and double check them and that sort of thing, but it can still make that a quicker process. And I'm not going to argue whether you should or shouldn't use AI. If you're watching this, you're one of two things. Either you're a creative and you're very interested in learning how to maximize the quality of your art the right way, or you're here and you're against AI and you just want to leave a comment. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I hope that you will at least see what can go into this process and how many of us, I'll include myself because I do sell AI generated art that I have created using AI tools. You're going to see that to get really good results, and my standard is I want my AI art to not look like AI art. And we know that there is tons out there. People are slinging around the word slop so much now. And a lot of people are just getting on the bandwagon. They don't even really understand what it means. But because there are a lot of people not putting as much effort into their art, there is a realistic issue with having a lot of sameness out there because the tools themselves are not adapting fast enough. The generators are good, but they're trained on certain materials, and when you ask for things, they're still going to base that on what they know. So the more descriptors you can give them to interrupt what their normal pattern of delivery is for that object, like for instance, if you ask for a dog and I ask for a dog, it's very possible that the AI is going to return a dog that's going to look very similar because we have not given it the parameters to make it our own dog. Speaking in animals, because the animal playbook helps to make a lot of the terminology easier for you to get. Think of it like a thesaurus or even a dictionary in certain cases when you don't understand exactly what a particular, like a dictionary or a style guide, because that it has that in there. It has a style guide. There are certain styles and techniques and things like that that the person that is not trained themselves on artistic things do you don't have that natural terminology. You don't know that there are a bazillion different, it seems like, techniques for watercolor. That's where it all got started for me with my playbooks. Is I was trying for myself to create a resource where I did not have to go back in and search for what is the name for this every single time I went to design something. I wanted a reference that I could do, that I personally could refer back to. And then it just got huge. And then it just seemed silly not to share that with people. And that's how everything got started. And now, 20 plus playbooks later, at this point in this recording, there is a lot of information available to you now that will take literally thousands of hours away from your creative process. From the, maybe not the creative process, but the research process, because now you can use these ingredients and you can plug them in ways that create your own artwork. There are certain stylistic phrases that you can add to even old and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to take some of my old, I'm going to show you first. Okay, so the AI Artist Playbook Animals. Let's just go here and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the new guide, and basically inside we have farm animals, funny animals, realistic animals, and fantasy animals, along with a style guide. I have like a style guide that is kind of more of a universal style guide for you on Scandy, Chibi, a lot of these very trendy styles, so that you can help to direct your AI generator to create in that direction of style. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and this particular one is 383 pages. That includes the contents and stuff, but anyway, 383 pages, and it is really cool. Let me just pop over to the table of contents. Okay, so you have an introduction. We'll just do this and get it out of the way. Introduction, there's the Animal Art Style Guide, and that's where you can apply today's popular art styles to the animals you create. Everything is hyperlinked, which means this is a working document. It is not something you sit down and you read at the beach. This is something you want to, I have them tagged up here and have a group on my edge so that I can shut it down if I want to collapse it, and then I can open it back up, and I always have several available up here at the top. Unfortunately, I have so many of them I can't keep all of them up there right now. I only keep a few because it would take my entire bar up. But anyway, so this down here breaks up all of these little style guides. This is the beginning intro material. And then it breaks all these different styles down. So if you want to make something in Fairy Core, you just click there and it'll take you straight to that section, and then you can work from that. So meant to be used, meant to be copy and pasted the phrases from. So that is perfectly within the licensing that I give you. The things that you can't do is you can't sell my whole entire book, and you can't take excerpts from it and make your own book and sell that and compete with me. But as far as creating your artwork, you can take all the phrasing and you can copy and paste it into your prompts to build and create your own prompts and your own directions. So you can absolutely do that. It is meant to do that. You can if you want to. Some people have, because some of the more like troubleshooting material, there is some content, readable content. You can create your own binder or whatever. You can print it out. You can bind it yourself. If you want to print it out on your home printer for your single personal use copy, that's fine with me. But for most people, you're going to leave it as a PDF. You're going to save a couple of backup copies so you don't ever lose it, because you know how Dropbox and stuff is. You never know when something might happen and you may not be able to go in and re-download again. So anyway, so the first, okay, there is an animal to style finder, which is, it gives you certain animals and then it's going to tell you different styles that you could apply to that, and that is not if anybody has watched very many of my videos, I crisscross everything. I mean, I mix things and mix textures, mix styles, to create my own little thing. So that's not saying you can't go beyond that. It's just sort of a starter to get you started. Okay, so the first section is farm animals. So you've got all these different farm animals, and you have about the animals and a lot of the technique stuff. And then you have actual phrase banks attached to them as well. So those are really cool. And we have lots and lots of animals and phrase banks there. And then as you go into, and I went too far. Okay, so you go into section 2. That's going to be your funny animals, like dressing up animals, animals at home, animals with hobbies, working animals, sassy and expressive animals, animals celebrating and socializing, relatable animal personalities, and funny animal pairings and groups. So lots of content there, lots of phrasing. And then section 3 is realistic animals, like how to get those realistic fur and feathers, and you've got all the different kind of animals here. How to do botanical animal portraits, how to do vintage, naturalist, and traditional illustration. So lots and lots of info there. And then even though it focuses on certain animals, most of this stuff can be applied to different animals outside of the ones included. It's just that I did a poll in my group, and I have lots of really large, very comprehensive playbooks, and they're not super cheap. Now, I try to run frequent sales to help you guys out with 50% off and stuff. So they sold really well. But I asked in my group, I polled about what they would like to see. And one of the things was from an affordability position. And we all know that, sometimes things happen and, it can get expensive, when you're trying to keep up with the trends and you're trying to do all this and you're a member of this and a member of that, and you've got a lot of monthly subscription things. Now with Artistly, that's one reason I like it, because I have literally not paid anything for Artistly, and I've been making art and making money since fall of 23. The very first day I bought it, the very first day that they launched it. So I've been using it that long, and I've had all these updates. We're on 6, fixing to go into 7 now, and I have literally less than $150 in it. So, and I've made money all these years for it. What an investment, right? So anyway, if you're interested in Artistly and you'd like to help me out and help me continue to help you, then you can purchase using my affiliate link. It will be down in the description of this video. So just a little plug there, because that helps me out without costing you anything extra if you decide that you want to check it out. There was at the time of this video a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can, it's kind of a low risk to be able to take that. So anyway, back to the table of contents. So fantasy animals, let's see, and then you get section 5 is a bunch of closing reference material, like build a direction formula, quick style finder, quick subject finder, closing note from me. Kind of pulling it all together. So it's a very comprehensive book, but this poll revealed that a lot of my members inside my group, which is a good example of all of you who watch the channel, and just in general, wanted something that came in at a little lower price point. Okay, so I really tried. This one's 383 pages. So it's really hard for me to do what I feel like is justice to certain subjects without it being at least 300 or 400 pages. It's hard because I want to include enough that you get true value out of it. But these that I'm doing right now will come in at a lower launch price than what a higher discount in some cases. Now, some of them will not be quite as expensive when it goes off the launch. Some of them may have a more drastic, if there are a higher priced playbook and it's a new one, then I may discount it down a little bit more than typically I do 50%. I may go 75%. I just don't know. I'll handle that as I come to it. But I do want to make some more affordable options for you guys as far as being able to get into a playbook, because the playbooks can be used across so many different things. In reality, there's a lot of phrasing in the animal one that you're going to be able to apply to other subjects. Now you're going to have to adapt them, but that's okay too. I mean, you can use color schemes, for across all sorts of different subjects and stuff. So, some of this you're going to get way more use than just for animals. But anyway, so that's all about that. Let's jump into seeing what I've been able to create using using Artistly 6 and using this playbook. So we're going to go over into Artistly, and I've already got some blown up bigger so that you can kind of see them. So look at this adorable camel. And as I said before, I'm looking for that hand artistic look. I'm not looking at something that's going to be just like what everybody else is doing. So let me see if this is a mouse that I did. Sorry about that. I'm having to play with all of my stuff, so it's actually scrolling through some of them. Aren't those awesome? Look at the detail. I'm always looking at being able to give the same detail that if I were an artist that I could sit down and do it, then that's what I would want to do. So this is all with Artistly. So if you're getting very generic looking images with Artistly and you think Artistly is not capable of creating better artwork, that's not the case. Basically, you literally can create some just truly amazing and very hand-drawn looking artwork. You just have to know how to prompt it. These are just, to me, gorgeous. I'm so excited to be building some products around these images. And you can just see the detail based on, kind of how I've mixed realistic with the cartoony. I mean, you get the realistic looking fur there. These are going to make some amazing packs. And we're coming into building up our Christmas inventory. So animals are very popular around Christmas. You've got reindeer, and you've got teddy bears, and just all kind of mice, obviously. I've been on a mice kick. I'm going to do a shout out to Richard, who's in my group. He really does a lot with mice, and I've had a lot of fun making these little mice. So let's go back in, and we're going to look at a few of these. You can see, as I just scroll through, you can see I created them in Artistly. You can see up here, well, actually it took my name down, but anyway, oh, there it is, Tammie Gibbs. So you can see this is inside my personal copy of Artistly, and you can see they were generated in Artistly. A lot of people in the groups and stuff like that, I belong to one Artistly group, and they had to actually tell people, this is an Artistly group. When you're posting things, make sure it was created in Artistly. So you can see without any doubt, you know, that I created these inside of Artistly. Okay, so let's go in and we're going to play with, let's just play with, I'm gonna go in over here. This is one of my prompt keepers that I did personally for myself. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna find an old, that's the really cool thing. You can go in and you can actually take some old prompts from your prompt keeper or however you keep up with your prompts, and you can create. Okay, so here is a lion. Okay, so we're going to go back in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this one, and I am going to regenerate it. Okay, and we're going to see what we get to start with. Now this one is under the artistic. I use a lot of different prompts. There's so many of them now. I mean, prompt generators. There are so many of them now. So I like to experiment because some prompts are just going to render better in different prompt generators. So I play with them to see what the best output is. Sometimes I use the output from both in different packs, just depending on how it treats that particular prompt. And I have to refresh a few times, but we're going to go in. Okay, so now we've got, this one's in Artistic Designer. This is actually rendered a very cute little lion anyway, but let me show you some things you can do. You can go in, and I'm going to go up here. Back to the beginning here, and we have the lion. Okay, so we're going to actually apply difference, you know, kind of a different, this is the Grand Millennial area here, and I'm going to go and grab this, a polished Grand Millennial decorative. Okay. Copy it, and then I want to apply it to this that I already have. I'm gonna, sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm pasting in the Grand Millennial just to see what it's going to give me. Now that is not necessarily something you would normally apply, but that's, we just want to see what it'll do, because thinking outside of the box is often where I come up with my very best images that nobody else is doing. And for those of you that are just tuning in, oh, how cute is that? Not necessarily Grand Millennial style, but I love him. He's so cute, and he's very different. So regardless, it's given us a really cute look. Now, so now what can we do? We can go in and we can look and see if there's maybe something different we can add. So let's see what else we have. Just looking to see. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to another area. We've kind of got that. So let's go now to, let's just go to cows and let's see if we can find like something that's, oh, I know where we're going to go. Let's go to the funny animals. Let's go to sassy and expressive. We're going to be looking now. We have a lion, but we're going to look here for something that we can add to give our little lion some personality. So let's see. Personality, accessories. Let's see. Let's do pearls and a sassy carrot. Let's see if we can add this to this lion. And as I started to say, for those who don't watch me all the time, I do not go back and edit out like when I don't get the result I want, because I want you to see how I work through it, and I will absolutely tell you, this one just didn't work, and we go back to the beginning and we just do what we do, you know? We keep working at it. That's what art is about. It's about working on it until you get the desired result that you want. Okay, so this one did not give us any of those. It added like an apple. So still a super cute animal, and this is a perfect example, because what we're going to do is we're going to go back here to the pearls and the brooch, and we need to move this. Okay, so we're going to move this. We're going to go back up here inside the area that for, let's see, let me see if I can find it. And we're going to put wearing, because we have brackets there that have the character. So now we're going to try it again. So I want you to see this process, because number one, I do not want you to start designing yourself and get in there and think that when your result is not perfect because you saw that I did one and it showed you the finished product, that when I got the result I wanted and doesn't. Okay, here we go. So you can see here how cute that is. We've got pearls, a brooch, and a scarf. Now this one did put two tails on it, so I would have to eliminate this one, which I could do in editing. Really cute though. The colors that it added are kind of cute. So we're going to regenerate it and see if we can get one that doesn't have two tails. And the reason it put an apple in this one is because it used apple as a color. Artistly, sometimes, just for your knowledge, you may have to go back and add a little qualifying words around it, like apple colored, like apple green color. Because otherwise, sometimes it takes colors that are based on actual objects, and it much better. We've got the little earrings and a little scarf here. It eliminated the brooch, but that's perfectly okay. But look how cute our lion is. And if we go in and we download it, we can open it in our photo browser, and you can look and see the delicate detail here that it does. Now, most of the time, if I were selling it with Clipart, I would take this particular image and I would remove the background on it. So, there's that. So we've gone from this, which is super cute, but we have refined it now, and we are adding elements to it. So let's go back and let's continue, and let's see if we can change him up even more. So this is, let's use the grocery tote. Let's add that. Okay, so you see I'm just getting ideas. So we've got our image. It's not going to add it to this specific one. It's going to give us a variation that has that, which is perfectly fine for what we're doing. So we're going to say lion is carrying a grocery tote. So a lot of times, as you want to layer the complexity, you start out and get your basic image direction, and then you can go back in, and as you want to add things to, like, your, whether it's your clip art pack, or whether it's you want to do a pack, get a specific image for a product and you're just not quite there yet, you can build it in layers, and then you can always use the other clip art that you create in the process of getting to that one image in different products or different things. So nothing is ever totally junk. You can recycle the prompt and you can add things to it. You can do editing to those particular images or whatever. So hopefully this will have a little tote. Okay. So we do have a little tote here. I'm not sure that it would be considered a grocery tote. But if you look here, it's got a little pearl bracelet down here. So it's definitely a very interesting, cute little concept here. So shopping tote is more what it did because of the Grand Millennial. So what we can do is, if we really want it to be a grocery tote, we can specify it's carrying a, let's see, a brown grocery, let's do this, basket with fruit inside it. Let's see what that does. Sorry about that. I thought my video had gone off, but it's still recording. Not sure what was going on with that. I'm the real deal. I am not going to edit out the issues. Okay. Well, we can go over while we're waiting on that to render. So, here's some other, like, we can go in and we can maybe change it up a little bit. Okay, here we got what we wanted. Cute, got the necklace, got the scarf and everything, got one tail, got a basket over here with some vegetables in it. So as you see, that you can begin to layer in, and a lot of times you just have to continue to tweak it to get the look that you want, but you can see how we've been able to do that. And so, and we are literally applying this to an animal that's not actually covered inside this particular animal playbook. So you can still use it with different animals, and I wanted to demonstrate that so that you realize that the scope of it, is you don't have to just do, the animals that are inside, that these are applicable to other animals. You just have to use your own discernment as to which features and phrasing might go with different ones. But this is super cute. I really am liking the lion. So now I'm going to actually go back to, let's go back to this one, the very first one we did. Or actually, let's go to this one. Let's go to this one, which was the very basic one that I did. And what I'm going to do is, we're going to put this and we're going to try it this way, and then we will try it by moving that to the front if it doesn't render the way that we expect or wanted it to. Just taking that lion in another direction. And if you watch very many of my videos, a lot of times I try to take you from one prompt and then show you the different, many different directions you can go and how you can adjust that prompt. I mean, a lot of times the prompts are very basic, and that's where you take one subject and then you can create it across very different looks. So we'll go back to 7. Let's go back to 6. Okay, so we can, there's some other things like, oh, the mid-century modern, maybe that would be something. Copy that, and then I'll show you how you can apply. Okay, so that worked. We've got a different kind of look now. This is the whimsical watercolor and everything. And if I don't know if you noticed, but you know, a lot of times artistic designer, and for years I've had trouble getting the minimalistic look, but probably they've been tweaking it. I know they're working on 7, so I don't know how much of this may be contributing to how it's understanding things, but this is also a way that I've been able to use specific wording and phrasing to get those looks. So it's been very, very, okay, retro groovy. Okay, let's see how that's going to do. Because we're going in a totally different direction now. And we just have to figure out where to place the prompt phrasing. And the more things you add to it, the more unique your design is going to be. And that comes from your brain, your original concept, and how you phrase the very beginning of it, your subject, and factor that in, down to how you curate the phrasing and ingredients that you put into that final prompt, just like I'm doing. That's where the beauty happens. Now, there are also places inside the playbook that have things about building scenes and stuff like that. Okay, so this one, super cute, but I'm not getting as much of that retro, bold thing. So what that means is I need to go back to here. And then I need to do a little change here. We're going to delete it from there, and then we're going to insert it right here. And then we're going to take this and there we go. See what that does. Excuse me. I'm still suffering with allergies. Leave down in the comments which of these animals I have created that I showed you, which of those that you like the best. I'd love to hear your thoughts on those images, and I'd love to know if you've used Artistly, if you have been able to get similar results in the past, if Artistly is hard for you, if there are specific tutorials or you have difficulty creating a specific type of look and you need me. There we go. So now we still ended up with 2 tails, which that's okay. I could easily take that off, but I love this look. Really cute for baby nursery. And we're just going to do another one and see if it'll give us 1 tail. But that is the look that we were looking for as far as getting more of that more structured look instead of the more realistic-y, roundy. You know, this is just a really cool look for lots of things. And then we can take this and we can change from a lion to, let's just do a giraffe. And dark bristle mane that goes all the way around the head. We need to remove that part of it. And we'll have that one percolating. Okay, so let's look at the, we had it, I thought it had come up. Okay, we're still waiting on that one. But this one I would still use. I would just erase the tail there when I remove the background. Okay, so this one we only have the one tail. Not quite as cute as the other one, but you know, it's going to give us different versions. Okay, so it's given us a giraffe now. It put in a lot of extra stuff. I would go in and I would refine this a little bit. Let's see what this one turns out. There we go. Now this one gave us two tails too, but I really like him, so the tails are, because it is a more simple design, I can just go in there and just remove whichever one I don't like. But that's really cute. So, you know, this is where you can go in and then you can have it do 3 maybe. Let's change the orientation a little bit and see what it does. But it has been so much fun creating these, and there's just so much content there. And as you have seen, we'll just kind of review. I do this on purpose. A lot of times I will take the prompt and I will on purpose insert things in a different location than what I normally would, because I kind of have a feel for it. But I want you to see that if you do a prompt, and let's just say you're using, and some my books do have some little formatting, like it'll say put the subject here and da-da-da-da-da. That is for reference. That is not a 100% guarantee that your generator is going to follow that properly. I always preface that to say those are a place to start. If it is not working and you are not getting the desired results, then I want you to go in and wiggle around those phrases and put them in different locations to see which one your generator is going to take to give you the response that you want. So don't give up on it until you have explored moving those phrases in different locations throughout your particular prompt. Now, another thing I hope you will take away that is not often talked about in the videos, I just kind of do it. Now, this one is cute, so let's look at this prompt. Okay, so we're going to look at this prompt, and I want you to understand that when I did these brackets, whenever you see subject or animal or whatever, that does not mean you just put lion there. That means you can actually dictate within that space how you want that animal to look. And then these other things are going to apply those elements to your subject or your lion or your animal or your little kid or, you know, your little princess or whatever. So it's a way to frame it so that you're actually building on top of an existing prompt. You've got the prompt for that particular animal or that particular, see, this says, you know, it's for Clipart, it's standing, it's Scandi style, it's a cute cartoon line, hand drawn. It's got all these things about that lion. And then we add all these other things, that layer on top of this particular given animal that we're doing. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me see if I can get this back. So here, I'm going to scroll down and just let you see and look at a few of the ones that we've created during this session and some of the ones that I had done. Okay, so this was like my original prompt, this bear, from one of my old prompt keepers from way back. But I was also able to get the little bears a little bit more artistic here, and they get more and more artistic as they go. And then I really love the camel. He's going to be, this look here is going to be something I'm going to change over and, probably insert different types of animals with that style. That's the great thing. Once you get a style down, like, for instance, let's look at some of these mice and stuff like this. I love the way this looks, and I can apply this, parts of that prompt to different subjects and even different holidays and stuff. So it's all about tweaking it, as I say often. But look at my cute little poodles. And basically that came from my sheep here, from this sheep. I then changed up the animal to give me the cute little poodles. So cute. I just really love those. And then, all of these are different. A lot of them are with different generators within Artistly, but they just give that, a different look. But those mice, to me, have so much personality. So much personality. Now, this one actually is an old prompt, so it looks very much like an old image that I had created before. I just added some extra universal styling prompt to it to see, if it would change it up very much. So just a few more to go. This is, I love the natural looking that I've been able to create. Sorry about my pup. I think there's a deer outside of my area over here that I'm working on. If you've watched, you also know I have a lab and a pomapoo. The pomapoo I left inside the house, and we're out in our barn, which is actually a huge room with a ball pit and toys everywhere. I have a workshop out here as well, and my pomapoo tends to be the one that barks the most. So I came out here to do the video today, but just so you can see all these different ones that I played with. I love this little dog. I just love that. And the deer, this deer look, look at the cat, and then more of the little sheep, my little shopping mice, and the little ducks. All of these are just so cute. So cute. Let's see if we can refresh this and see what we've got here. Okay. Oh, that's just I don't know why I was doing that. I was thinking we were waiting on something. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you thank you for watching, and I hope that this has been informative. If you are interested in the Playbook, it is launching for $9.99, which is more than half price. And it will be available for another little bit of time if you're watching this, within launch period. If not, then be sure and check it out. I'm sure I'll probably have a sale on it in the future. I'll still be running sales periodically, but watch for my newer playbooks that'll be coming out. I'm going to definitely be adding some that come in at this price point because it has been such a success. And I want to get more playbooks in more creators' hands so they're making better art, because I believe in the long run, the ones of us who adapt and really try to make our art stick out as more traditional and unique are going to survive the AI slop revolution, where just people are just posting whatever that they create and not actually going and researching the differences in the art, and paying attention to the way they're designing. And I don't say that to be ugly or mean at all, because, for one thing, it's really up to you. You are a creator in your own respect. And just like, I may not see people that take junk and make it into artworks, but some of them sell for thousands and thousands of dollars, because it's in the eye of the beholder, whether that's art or not. So it is not my place, I don't feel like, as a novelist, a published novelist, and a graphic artist, and now an AI artist. It's not my position to tell someone else what art is or how they can make their art. What I can do is suggest and recommend that you study art enough that what you are creating, you can tell the difference yourself, and you are aware of what the market is looking like. Go on to Etsy, go on to some of the marketplaces, pull up and look at Clipart and different things within whatever product you're making, and see if there is like everything is looking the same, then it's going to be harder for you to stand out. So then you want to find the way to stand out against all the other art, so that when people are looking, you and your products and your art pop out as being unique. Because if everything looks the same, then it reduces everyone's chance of being successful. So I feel like the more I can do to give you the tools you need to be more unique will help you in the long run to kind of survive this culture shock that we're in right now. And there's still plenty of people that are buying the art. You have to make it easier for them to find you by being and creating uniquely. So always love comments. Be sure and check out the description for all my links. You can find the links for the playbook. There'll be a link to my website. From there, you can choose whether you want to purchase on Gumroad or whether you want to purchase on Etsy. Up to you. I don't collect any, payment information directly on the website. It's just there as a way to direct you and, communicate with you with different things. So be sure and join my Facebook group, the Design It with Tammie Gibbs Facebook group. There's a link to that in the description as well. Or you can find it at the website as well. And then I also have a free newsletter that you can sign up for. I don't flood your mailbox, your email box with lots and lots of stuff that you're not going to want to see. I only use it, when I have something valuable to say. And I want to get back on a little bit more regular posting schedule for that. But I will, hopefully get back into the run of that, and you'll start getting a little bit more regular ones. But anyway, you can join that as well. All of these are designed to just help you with resources and help you do what you do better. So thanks for watching, and until next time, happy creating.